Welcome to the Engerati studio live at European Utility Week. I'm Rose and I'm joined now by Angel Hernandez, Chairman of the Promotional Working Group at Prime Alliance.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Angel, perhaps we could begin by, you could just explain the function of the Promotional Working Group.
Yes. First of all, thank you very much, Rose, for inviting for that interview. Promotional Working Group is an important piece of the whole Prime Alliance because we have to promote an open and royalty-free standard that we have been working for the last years. So it's also represent the interests of an industry with more than 65 companies. So Promotional Working Group is very important. And there is another group which is called the Technical Working Group, which is even more important because this is the people which are specifying a set of specifications which will be the base to develop products.
Okay. Can you explain to us Prime for Evolution?
Yeah, Prime for Evolution, there are two concepts. The evolution and is very important for us because when we move the specification from one point to the other specification, what we do is to guarantee the backward compatibility in order to protect the financial interests of our customers. And evolution is important, but innovation is even more important. So Prime for Evolution means in principle that we are always taking the lead in the industry. Bearing in mind that at the very beginning, we have been the first in the industry to specify in a set of specifications to define a standard which is open and interoperable. Okay, we have been also the first one in making a set of different products from different suppliers, which could talk to each other. And last but not least, we are also the first company, the first association which is having more than 12 million Prime smart meters from different suppliers, from different members, which are interoperable. And last but not least, we will be the first one having what we call an hybrid system, which is from the wireless to the power line communication, using Prime as a protocol over the IP.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you what's the benefit of using Prime over PLC and radio?
Yeah, actually, we strongly believe that the Prime for PLC and the Prime for radio is a perfect mix in order to have solutions for the identity urban, suburban areas, but also for the rural areas. So PLC, Prime over power line and radio is a perfect mix in order to generate and optimize a capex, capital investment, but also to help define a very good cost analysis benefit.
Okay, which is obviously needed.
It's also needed because the customers at the end of the day will have to present that to the regulator and get the approval. So if the cost analysis is not very positive, most likely they will not do it. But by using a mix of Prime over radio and Prime over power line communication, that's very helpful.
Okay. And could you elaborate where Prime over PLC and radio could be used? I think you probably just touched on it there. Yeah. And where the first project will be deployed?
Exactly. I think that as I mentioned, we mentioned before, in principle, Prime over PLC is very good for the high density cities and suburban areas. We try to use the own assets of our customers, which are the DSOs, and we strongly believe that radio is a perfect mix together with the power line communication, especially for the rural areas. Now, it's good that you asked me that question, Rose, because after this fantastic event, we will make a press release in which we are going to inform the energy community that we are going to test in a large scale Prime over power line and Prime over radio in the USA.
Okay.
In New York upstate, and this will be the first stage. We will really make a large scale proof of concept.
Right. And the US, why were you thinking of testing it there? Is it
It's very important because if you have a look at you compare the different type of grids in the world, the US is more a kind of mid-voltage grid with the low voltage, and usually the number of residential customers is very low compared to the cities in Europe. So in the cities in Europe, in every country, in a given country, you may have between 50 customers per transformer station to even 500, okay? In the US it's very different because it's more a kind of, you have 5 to 6 customers per transformer station, and you have a very large mid-voltage grid. So what we really would like to do, and we believe is innovation at the heart, is to make a power line or a prime over primer line over power line communication for the last 100 meters, 70 meters to the customers. Then we have a data concentrators, or we have a kind of equipment which is relaying the information to other places, and this will be done by porting prime over the air, supported by the IP multi-protocols.
Okay, and how long will that pilot run for?
Excuse me?
How long will the US pilot run for?
It will start in 2017, and it will, like every pilot, we believe that it will be for 12 months.
Okay.
Then we have the proof of concept, and we think that once we have the proof of concept validated for a large scale pilot, it will be also very fantastic and exciting for the industry in general.
Which other world regions would that be applicable to? That kind
That's
of
a very good question, Rosa. Actually, we plan to do that specifically outside of Europe, because in Europe we have a very high density urban and suburban. We do have also some rural, but less than in geographic like Latin America, the US, or also the Asia Pacific. So we believe that he has a perfect fit for this type of topologies.
Yeah, okay. We've got here, Prime for Evolution's not only a slogan but a reality. So what is next for Prime Alliance?
It's very important that you say that, because the fact that we are doing that is not, the first stage is for the smart metering, but we will move from the smart metering to the smart grid, and we believe that the end game or the end point is the digitalization of the grid. So this is what we want to do. Okay. So next year you will see me also speaking about the same, but also we will start also doing innovation by guaranteeing not only the interoperability on the physical layer, on the communication layer, but also on the application. So we want also to have this wonderful community of members in the Prime Alliance to work also together in order to have a common profile on the DLSM COSM. So we will have a full interoperability from the communication to the application layers.
Okay, so just as many manufacturers are having to evolve into smart energy, end-to-end supplies, that Prime is adapting as well.
Actually, we are blessed because the members and the board members, they are very committed to that. So there is not a secret sauce. The secret sauce is that the people are putting a lot of effort on the daily basis to make it work. So this is the big assets of this.
Okay, so big year ahead.
Yes, of course. Yes, definitely.
Great, thank you, Angel.
Thank you, Rose, for having me with you. It's a pleasure talking to you.
And you can watch more of our videos on the Engerati YouTube channel. Thanks for your time now.